Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue to follow the athletic programs of the Tulsa Public Schools, both boys and girls. And we have a great show lined up for you today as we talk football, we're going to talk basketball, volleyball, and then we're going to really get into what is happening in athletics with Gil Cloud, the Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools. So I think you'll find it a very interesting show, and we invite you to stay with us. We're coming right back.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job?
Be like everybody else.
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills, the smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess?
What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the volleyball coach at Rogers High School, Coach Hannah Clancy. And Coach Clancy, it's a pleasure having you aboard.
Yes, thanks so
and
much.
You are interested in volleyball. Give us a little review of the volleyball at Rogers High School.
Yeah, well, it was a real growing year this year. I'm a new coach, and the new coach at Will Rogers. So I've only ever been a player. So there's always, it's just like being a student versus a teacher. There's always going to be a transition and a learning period. But it's been a lot of fun, and I've really grown to love the girls, and we had a great time. So it's been a good season.
Tell our audience about your playing career.
Well, I pretty much had a volleyball in my hand as long as I can remember. Played in elementary school, started playing competitive from Flower Mound, Texas, just outside of Dallas, since 6th grade through my senior year. Wanted to go to a big university, went to OU, graduated from there. Still was involved in athletics. I worked with the athletic department. You can't get away when you grow up like that. But I wasn't playing volleyball for a college, but I've always thought about in the back of my head kind of coaching and getting back into it.
Well, now how did this come about?
Well, so it was just such a big opportunity for me because both of the coaches left for other opportunities in the state, and the principal and our athletic director approached me and asked me if I would come on board just because they knew I had a pretty good history with volleyball. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think it's something that I never thought I would want to do for the rest of my life, but it's something I never thought I would love anything as much as I love teaching. And I do. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Now, well, give us now regional play. You were eliminated last night.
Right.
Kind of give us a background of the regional tournament.
It was a tough night. I mean, we knew going into it playing,
Who were you playing?
Lincoln Christian, who were previous state championship team many years. They've won. It's kind of been that Bishop Kelly, Cascia, Lincoln Christian, those teams. And so we knew it was going to be, we kind of got the luck of the draw being with a 4th seed and a 1st seed like Lincoln Christian. It was going to be a tough game. And I talked to the girls, and we just set goals and talked about what do we want this game to look like? Like, what are our goals for this game? I want you guys to play hard. I don't care who's on the other side of the net. We're going to come out and we're going to take care of the ball on our side of the net. And we're going to communicate because that's the foundation of volleyball, and we're going to go out and play, have fun. So it was a tough loss, and afterwards we were talking in the locker room, and we brought everybody together and kind of went over, this doesn't define our season. And we've come a really long way in this kind of growing season for all of us. And we're going to come back next year with vengeance.
How many kids do you have coming back next year?
Almost our whole team. I only have 2 seniors graduating out of the 10 girls we have.
Oh, that's
so
not bad.
I'll have 8 returning, and most of them will be seniors next year. Yeah, so we've got some experience. That's why, you know, when you only have 2 girls from varsity the previous year, it's a whole new, they have to get used to each other. They're having to get used to me. They've never played together. And so that's why I kind of thought of this as like our growing year, and next year we'll get some work done.
Now, over the course of the season, Hannah, who are some of the teams that you beat and some of the teams that beat you that you'll remember and want to catch them again next year?
Some of you know that you really played as hard as you could have when you're not upset as a coach when you lost, because you know your girls played as hard as they could and left it out there, and there's nothing that you can be mad about. One of those teams that was a really fun game for us was Berry Hill. And we went to the Berry Hill tournament and we played them, and we got beat pretty badly. We hosted them at our house a couple weeks later, and we had a really competitive game. And the girls, again, like I said, we weren't even mad because they played so hard. And that's the way I want them to feel after every single game. That's the goal.
Now, how many of your girls will, at the end of the season here, will be playing other sports or will stay with you throughout the year?
So this is the first year that Will Rogers is having a 2-sport rule. So all high school athletes who are in athletics 7th hour, we require them to play 2 sports for the year, which is really interesting when you think about it, because there's all this research out there about the benefits of young people playing 2 sports and how it makes them more versatile, not to mention keep them in shape. So what we're gonna do is, I have some girls that are going to basketball, I have some girls going to soccer, a lot of girls going to cheer, which was surprising, but our cheer program is really growing. And I'll have all of them at some point in the year. We're gonna be doing a lot of Nike Training Club. I'm gonna be throwing some even yoga in there, some more innovative things that I'm interested in. And working more so on footwork, because how you move in volleyball is everything. That's what we'll work on a lot.
Well, we're out of time, and we'll wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you so
Look
much.
forward to having you back.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Stay with us. More coming up on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education?
What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job?
Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills, the smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess?
What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head girls basketball coach at East Central High School, Coach Sammy Mack. And when we talk about Coach Sammy Mack, we talk about state championship teams and going to the finals. You're always playing for the gold ball, aren't you?
Well, we've had a lot of success the last 10, 12 years or whatever. We've been pretty successful.
Sammy, you do something, Midnight Madness. Now tell our audience what Midnight Madness is and how it helps the girls basketball team.
Well, we decided to try to start a tradition with Tulsa Public Schools and try to get everybody involved with Midnight Madness. We came in at 12 o'clock on October 1 at 8 a.m. That morning. You can imagine how they would, but they came in fired up, ready to go. A lot of them had just came from the fair, and we got in the gym, and of course Channel 6 was there to cover us. We got practice started, and they went hard for about an hour, hour and a half, and we did some good things to kick off the season to let everybody know, hey, we're getting ready to start now.
You know, it just seems like in watching your teams play, that your girls play with a tremendous amount of confidence in what they are doing. And that has to come from the coaching angle.
Oh, well, you know, we do a lot of one-on-ones. We do a lot of breakdown and trying to teach. It's more than just running up and down the court. We're trying to make them settle down and be able to run offenses and understand different defenses that you see. And I mean, it's just been really interesting to watch these young ladies do this, because you usually do it with boys, but we're putting a lot of the boys' things in with the girls, and they're really buying into it.
You know, in watching you play, it always seems like that you have a lot of talent. So talk about the talent that you lost last year, and now what is going to come in to replace that talent.
Man, that's a tough one. You know, you lose 4 of your young ladies. Michaela Dumas, second leading scorer. Kyla McIntosh, Avery Russell, and you lose Ren Long also. Those are all starters except for Avery. She was the 6th man off the bench that helped cover. And then we go into the season and we lose Jamie Asbury this year. She got lost to a torn ACL. So basically what we're going to be putting out on the floor is a bunch of young kids, a bunch of sophomores, 1 junior, 1 senior. But they're really, really talented. And we'll be fine because we're deep inside in the post.
You know, that's what always seems to me in watching your teams play and other successful teams, boys and girls, whether it's on the high school or the college level. But once you get that winning habit, when these young kids come in, they feel like we have to do it. And they don't want to be the team that doesn't do it. Don't you find that true at East Central?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we go through a period, and I tell the kids this all the time. They're a lot of friends with other kids at different schools, and they hear this, oh, you guys are not going to be that good this year. You're not going to be that good this year. And I tell them, just be quiet and let's just practice hard and we'll show them. And I got the type of kids that are hungry. They you know, these kids are getting ready to step out here now. They're like, Coach, let's go. We're ready. So they believe. They've been in the system. They believe. They've seen the success over the seasons and years that they've been there. They've got a chance to watch us go to the state championship or even had a chance to get on the floor. So we'll see how it turns out.
Talk about your schedule.
We have one of the toughest schedules this year that we've ever had. Unfortunately, it's going to be, we start off the season with a much improved Nathan Held team. Then we turn around and we play Memorial and Edison. And then we head off to to Fort Smith, Arkansas for the Tournament of Champions down there. We come back and we'll play, I believe, Central, and then we'll head out to Miami, Florida for the Orange Bowl Classic down there. So we'll be in Florida over the Christmas break, and then we come back and we'll be in Pittsburgh, Kansas, playing in the Battle of the Border tournament up there. So our schedule is going to be really, really tough. We'll come out with some wounds, but at the end, then we turn around and play Booker T in the BOK Showcase Classic, which is always a fun thing to do. So we'll be battle tested by the time the playoffs start.
Well, as you go through that, it just looks like that there is not one night that your girls can say, hey, we're going to have an easy one. So you will get the best out of them every time. Consequently, in practice, that helps you there as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. JV, in the past, we've been able to step out on the court, and by halftime, the games would be pretty much decided. And I'll sit my varsity down and let the younger kids play. That's not going to happen this year. Our kids are going to have to be on the floor the complete game. And this may be one of the toughest coaching jobs I have this year because we're going to be so young and putting so many new faces on the floor.
Sammy, I want to wish you the very best of luck and look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the boys and girls swim coach at Booker T. Washington High School, Coach Adina Norman. And Adina, always a pleasure having you aboard. You had a good year last year.
Yes.
How's that going to respond this year?
I think it motivated the team to really want to even do any better. So my girls, they want to win, so they're very determined, motivated. My seniors are very motivational to the rest of the team to really get everybody on track so that they can focus and accomplish the goal that they want, which is to finally win state championship. So my boys are always that motivated. So they're kind of already there.
Well, you really had a good year last year, didn't you?
We did, yeah. I mean, my girls ended up with second place, so they brought home a trophy, which is the first time a trophy had gone home since 1985. And then the boys had ended up getting third, and they both won the Academic Achievement Award. So
Now, how will they do this year? Can they repeat that?
I think that they can, definitely. At Booker T, academics is very important to all those kids, so that is the one thing that makes it very unique is they really do strive to be, academically excel, and then which they can take that motivation and that drive and they do it into swimming also.
Now, the kids that you lost, both girls and boys, mention them and who might be coming in to replace them.
I didn't lose a whole bunch. I lost, out of the girls, I had lost Taylor Norman, and boys like Pierce Pettit and Caleb Morris, Nick Loy, those were some of my top swimmers. But with my girls, I have freshmen that have come in for my girls team. I had a big freshman team come in again, and they are really powerful. So that was really great to find out over the summer. Even my girls saw it. They were like, we're really fast. So it was very great to have that. And we didn't get as many boys in, but the existing boys that we have are already extremely strong. So we're gonna just take what they already have and add some of those boys into it to make it stronger.
I would think in coaching both boys and girls swimming, that the boys would really create an incentive for the girls to be better. I mean, normally the boy would be a little better, I'm sure, on time and different things. So if that girl is getting beat, then she wants to catch him. Is that the situation?
Actually, it's kind of more like the opposite.
It's the boys chasing the girls?
The boys, yeah. If a girl starts to get faster than them, they're like, that is not going to work for me. And so they're like, I got to make sure that girl doesn't beat me. While that girl's like, I'm going to beat you. So it's kind of like almost more the opposite. So, but it strives each one of them to work harder and train together. And when you have the boys and girls that train together, they just push each other. So in different ways.
Well, talk about your schedule that's coming up this year and the swim meets that you go to that could be a great preparation for the state swim meet.
Sure. We do swim against 6A schools, which always helps because the competition is steeper. And so when we're able to go in there and hold our own or look at their times, it really helps my swimmers to be able to kind of base what it is that they need to do. Oh, I need to really pick this up. I need, if I can, or I stayed right with them and they're starting to feel pretty good about what they're doing. So we're swimming against Bartlesville, and this year we're going out to Edmond Memorial. And so it'll be swum in the state pool. So I think that'll help a lot to get the kids kind of mentally ready. And then we do the Jinx Invitational, which they try to run like regionals so that they can go in and start to mentally be ready. Like, hey, this is what regional is going to be like. This is where your times are. This is what you need to do. So,
well, when you take a look at what you have coming back, are any of them that maybe have developed over the summer more than you expected?
Yeah, I've had a few. one of my young ladies, Mackenzie Martin, she's extremely motivated. She's tough on herself, but with that being said, she also she wants to be like the number one out of everybody. She's one of the ones that she wants to beat all the boys too. And, you know, having that motivation around really helps some of the other girls to kind of train together. Like Emma Lotta, I feel that she can be able to take some state champions in her individual events, and Noah James and his brother Luke James. I've got some freshmen that came in that were extremely strong. I had a Lauren Myers and an Annabelle Renemy that over the summer have really just picked it up. So there's a lot. We just don't have enough time. I mean, there's just so many of them that have really come in and just really taken the reins and just started working really hard. So,
Well, Coach Dina Norman, Booker T. Washington boys and girls swim coach, we want to wish you the very best of luck and look forward to having you back soon.
all right, thank you.
Stay with us, more coming up on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and what a guest we have now, the head basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School, Coach Conley Phipps. And Conley, it's a pleasure having you aboard.
Coach Honey, great to see you. I'm glad to be here.
And I think our viewers would like to hear you give just a brief rundown of your career leading up to Booker T. Washington.
Okay. Well, I'm starting my 28th year coaching basketball. When I graduated from college, I went back to Cleveland, Oklahoma, was a head coach for 3 years. I left Cleveland. I was assistant coach at Northeastern State for 4. After Northeastern State, I went to TCU and began a Division I assistant career. I was with Coach Tubbs at TCU for 2 years, left TCU, went with Scott Sutton for 15 years. Then I wanted to get back into high school coaching, so the previous 3 years I've been at Sapulpa, or I was at Sapulpa, and now I'm lucky to have an unbelievable opportunity at Booker T. Washington.
You know, and just visiting with you before we came on the air, it seems like right now you are happier and more enthusiastic about the game maybe than you were on the college level.
Well, you know, Coach, the Booker T job, the tradition, the expectation, unbelievable. You know, we were talking about, I mean, I remember as a young kid in the 70s watching Booker T. Washington play, and Coach Mims coaching them, and now it's the 5 decades later, opportunity to be the head coach. It's a great honor.
Well, give us a little review of the kids that are coming back and what you have in the background that we'll be seeing at Booker T. Washington.
Well, you know, Booker T had an unbelievable season last year, and obviously they've been really good for years and years. You know, Coach Redmond, they went on a great run last year, got beaten in state finals, had an unbelievable year. You know, got several of those kids back. We have Jason Burrell's going to be a senior, committed to Boise State. We got Seth Hurd, 6'5" junior, had several D1s in to see him. Bryce Thompson, a sophomore, one of the top 25 players in his class in Oklahoma. We've got Trey Phipps, who had a really good freshman year at Sapulpa's, getting some, you know, he's got a Division I offer of kids coming in. And we've got other kids in the program that can play as well. And, you know, we'll have 3 or 4 come in off the football field. So, you know, as always, there's a lot of really good players at Booker T.
And, you know, in my past years of playing Booker T. Washington, it seemed like that every time they hit the floor, the desire to win, and in some instances, it was like we have to, or the community will not love us that they play so hard.
Well,
to do.
I mean, there's a lot of expectations, and I think that's good. I mean, people expect to win, and I don't even know it's an expectation to win. You know, it's an expectation to win a championship. So and I'm not sure you can go to any place with the expectations where the bar is set as high. You know, Coach Mims won 3 state championships. Coach Harris, you know, the field house is named after him, won 15. Coach Seals, assistant TU, won 2. I mean, it's an incredible, legacy that's left there. And so I think, that's one of the things I try to do is be sure that our players that don't know the legacy, that's one of the things that I want to do is be sure they understand all the great teams, players, coaches, and tradition that's at Booker T.
Well, talk about the schedule a little bit. Who you play and the tournaments and what is going to happen in that area.
Well, we've got an extremely difficult schedule. We start out the year in the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Duncanville, which we don't know who we play. We play the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll play 2, high-level teams, nationally ranked teams.
Now, where is that held?
It's in Duncanville, Texas. We play in the prestigious Tournament of Champions. Of course, when I was in high school, that was always my biggest goal. I remember when I was a player at Cleveland, we got invited, because I just grew up watching Memorial High School, so it's an unbelievable honor to be able to coach in that. And TPS has taken that over and done an incredible job. So we'll be in the Schoolboy Tournament of Champions. We've got Norman home and home. So always tough, the other Tulsa Public Schools teams, that makes your schedule tough. Something kind of neat we're doing, we're playing Memorial at the BOK, at the 1st of February. So our schedule's, very, very tough, as it should be, kind of get us ready for the playoffs.
Well, do you feel like the kids are really into it now, that they understand what you're trying to do with them?
I think they're very excited. I mean, obviously they were, 4 quarters away from a gold ball last year. I think those kids that are back, they want the gold ball, putting in the work every day. And I tell you what, just fantastic kids at Booker T. Fantastic kids. I enjoy coaching them, being around them every day. They're working hard, so it's been fantastic first few months.
Conley, we could talk basketball for a long time, but time has caught up with us, and we look forward to having you back in the future. But best of luck at Booker T. Washington.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Stay with us. More coming up right after this.
We just finished dinner, and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head football coach and athletic director at Edison High School, Coach Tony Danielson. Tony, you come off a big win over McAllister, 17-6, and that makes it nice 2 in a row, doesn't it?
It sure does. Anytime you can go back-to-back and win those games, and against a McAllister kind of team or someone like that, it's definitely beneficial and good.
And I think a lot of times people don't understand that, but kids get in the habit of winning, they get in the habit of losing.
Oh, absolutely. We talk all the time about let's just be 1-0. Be 1-0. Let's not worry about 2 weeks down the road into the season. 1-0 each week, and in the last 2 weeks we've finished that.
Well, you know, in your win last week over McAllister, you fell behind 6-0 early, and then you come back and you score 17, hold them. That had to make the team feel good.
Made them feel real good. It was one of those things that we just struggled holding on to the football. We had quite a few turnovers and gave them some opportunities, and that we finally had faced adversity really well and did a good job with it, and came back and left some points out there still on the board. But at the end of the day, it's still, we finished 1-0 and we got the win.
Now, at this point in the season, have some of your players developed much faster or much greater than maybe you expected, and maybe some of them haven't? Well, kind of talk about those that have developed.
Sure. I feel like our staff has done a really good job at trying to be a two-platoon type team.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of split the roster, your defense, your offense, and if you're one of the better athletes, or we feel like you need to help us, on both offense and defense, and we would ask you. But a lot of our kids are starting to get a lot more reps, and they don't have to worry about playing both sides of the football. So they've done really good at that. And there's been some kids, Savion Morrison, just take for an example, a sophomore running back, getting nothing but offensive reps. He's over 700 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, I believe, in those games, and has really come out where maybe he might not would have done that for us if he had to play both sides of the football, and we just wouldn't have known. But he's getting all those reps and doing a really good job.
Well, when you come in from that second win in a row, has that had, you've had a practice this week? How has it been?
Practice has been pretty good. It feels really good outside today. Kids are going to be energized and excited, and we just talked again about it. Hey, finish 1-0 this week. Just know that we can go in there and win. It's not a cocky kind of attitude. It's going in there, just be confident. Be confident that we can go over there to Coweta, and everybody, just like we have the past couple of weeks, let's band together and let's get over there and let's go get a win.
Well, give us a little scouting report on Coweta. What we really expect that you will see when you play them.
Oh, Coweta, very physical and very tough every year. Coach Holtz got them going over there. They're doing really good. They also, I don't know really the final report, I'm not sure, but their starting quarterback had went down 2 games ago. They got another guy in there, but they've got some athletes that kind of surround them. They go a little wildcat package with one kid. They got another kid that can catch the ball pretty well. And this quarterback's more of a running quarterback instead of a throwing quarterback. So you got all these things that kind of, mixture into game plan and try and go over. So we're just kind of doing a little bit at a time and trying to figure out some pieces and getting us ready to go.
Well, when you kind of look at your schedule here, you have Coweta, and then you go to Shawnee and Noble, and then you play Durant at home. What do you have to do to make the playoffs? Because that's always a desire. If you finish in the first 4, you advance into the playoffs, and that's what you want your kids to do.
Right, and we just keep telling them again, it kind of just goes back to the mentality. Let's just it's not who we play, it's how we play. We've got to fix the fumble, on fumbling. We got to fix taking care of the football. We got to fix on wrapping up and tackling. I mean, there's all kind of things that we can just continue to work on. It's not really going to matter who it is that we play. We had talked previously about any team, out of our district could end up playing and going to the playoffs. And I still believe that. We're sitting at 2-1, and we just got to make sure that it doesn't matter who we play this upcoming week, whether it's Coweta, Shawnee, Noble, Durant. We just got to make sure that we continue to keep getting better.
And do you feel the kids are really buying into this?
Absolutely, I do. They've done a really good job with taking that and working really hard, and working hard with their grades. You're seeing more and more of those kids just getting after it, talking about where they stand in the classroom, on and off the field. And I mean, you can see the excitement and the change.
Now, you mentioned that you had some good young kids. Who do you have coming up, say, sophomores and maybe even a freshman?
Sure. Starting quarterback is Brant Hager. He's a sophomore quarterback. Savion Morrison, sophomore. Darius Fritz plays slot receiver. Wyatt Ellis is another sophomore. He starts. We were looking at it yesterday, and we've talked about it probably for the past week. Our whole offense returns next year, so it's going to be it's going to be exciting come next season. But we have Torrin Walker. He's a sophomore. Starts at corner for us. And we probably have about another 2 or 3 more guys that start that are sophomore, junior kids that are going to be coming back from next year.
Well, we want to wish you the very best of luck as you travel to Coweta, and we'll catch you on your next home game.
Thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head football coach at Booker T. Washington High School, Brad Caleb. And Brad, congratulations on the big 42-21 win over Muskogee. And when you beat Muskogee, regardless, it's always a big win.
It's always a big win, especially when you play in the Indian Bowl there, and they have so much tradition there, and so to go there and beat those guys there, a very good football team, is really a success to our program.
Well, now, according to the paper, you passed a little more in Muskogee than maybe you have been, but very effectively.
Yes, they stacked the box on us. They wanted to stop the run game, and so we have some receivers that can catch the ball. So we opened it up a little bit with our air game, and we're very successful. Missed a lot of passes of the first quarter. Second quarter, we kind of opened it up with the passing game and caught some balls, and it kind of changed the outcome of the game the second quarter.
But Thomas Grayson rushing for 192 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's not bad.
He is having an outstanding year. Every week, I mean, he's getting better and better. He was injured last year, and this year he's just on a mission. I mean, he's a different kid, a different player. I mean, he plays angry, and he had a great game. He had a great game, and the second half we opened it up with him and went too tight, and he saw a crease, and man, he had a great night that night.
Brad, since you were selected number 1 in Class 6A2, has that had an impact on your team?
Yeah. Being number 1, I always tell my team that preseason really doesn't matter. Because when it gets to November and playoff time, everybody is 0-0. So rankings really don't matter. We're just taking one game at a time. And like I said, we went and beat a very good team, Muskogee, and this week we're off, and which we kind of needed. We kind of banged up just a little bit, but this week will kind of allow us to heal up. And then we got another journey. We play Sand Spring next Thursday, and they're going to be tough. But our kids are playing well. And like I said, we just got to take one game at a time. And I just told our team, people are going to play their best game against us because we're ranked number 1. So we just got to be ready every week.
Well, it seemed like the 3 games you played out of district at the beginning of the year, about the toughest they could get. And now you get down into the last 3, so that prepares you for the state playoffs.
Yes, I mean, our first 3 games was really brutal, and our kids played well and weathered the storm on that. And like I said, I think we got some growth by playing those type of teams, especially, beating Midwest City in overtime. That's kind of took us to a new level as far as our team play on offense and defense. And from there, we just kind of been playing very well on all cylinders, and offensive, defense, and special teams. So I just hope it continues. You know, like I said, we're just trying to get to November, December, and you know, anything can happen then.
Brad, as you look over this year's team, do you have some players that have really stepped forward, maybe that you didn't think was going to make the contribution that they're making, or are they meeting your expectation?
Well, we had some concerns at the beginning of the year. Tommy Grayson, you know, he hurt his ankle and was out last year. And of course, he came back and playing very well. Our main concern was Philip Wheatley, our quarterback. Last year, he was a junior, but he played like a sophomore. And this year, he's playing very well. And he's probably our main key ingredients while our offense is really clicking, and he's throwing the ball very well, and he's doing a good job. And so we're really pleased with him, because we were kind of worried about the quarterback situation, but he's playing well in it. And so we just got to keep him healthy and keep him protected, and we'll have a chance.
Well, overall, has this team to this point more or less met your expectations?
Yes. Last year we had some seniors on the team that they didn't really buy into, our coaching staff, and this year they have, and they just fun to watch, and they do, what we tell them to do, and do they just play hard, and they play to win, and we have that type of kids that on one accord, they hard to beat. And I've been around a lot of state championship teams with Jinx and so forth, and this team right here had that mentality, and they have that look, and they want to win a gold ball.
And it makes it fun for you and the coaching staff every day, doesn't it?
Yes, because we play some teams like the Ponca cities and stuff like that. I'm not downgrading them, but sometimes you can play those type of teams and you play at they type of level, and our kids didn't. They played for 2 quarters, and the game was out of hand, and we allowed some young kids play, but they playing well. I've seen your group is playing very well, and they are the big key to our success this year.
Brad, want to wish you the very best of luck and hope to have you back soon.
Well, thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
We just finished dinner, and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta try a little harder.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue Inside Tulsa Athletics as we bring aboard the Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, Gil Cloud. Gil, as always, a pleasure having you aboard.
Thank you, JB. I'm glad to be here today.
And when we take a look at what is going on within the public schools of Tulsa, and you look up at McLean and a new field house, a lot of good things happening.
Very excited about the McLean Field House. It was in the 2015 bond issue that passed, and we're really excited to get that project on the way and get it started. It was one of the keynotes in there. The East Central Field House is also in that bond issue, but it'll be a year or 2 down the way. But we've gone through the planning stages literally now for almost a year to get that project ready to go, and we'll start probably in November sometime with that facility with a hope to open date the 1st of January in 2019. We're excited about that.
And that will really be a complete asset as far as improvement is concerned at McLean High School. And you know, it seems like that there is becoming more loyalty to McLean than maybe we've had in the past few years.
Well, I think they've built a great homecoming weekend that they have every year, the 5 years that we've been here with them. And I mean, it is absolutely a spectacle and something that everybody should attend at least one during their time. But I think you're right. I think there's a camaraderie there that they want to be a part of the McLean community. And I think this facility is really going to set the tone for a great deal of pride in that community on North Peoria. It'll sit right on the road, so you can't miss it, and we'll have a tremendous amount of parking. We'll be taking most of what is now be considered gymnasium or field house stadium parking because the field house will sit in that parking lot, but we'll be building a new parking lot on the south side of the stadium so that there'll be access to the stadium and to the field house with additional spaces for parking. So I think it's going to be a great communion point in that it'll bring people together.
And you talk about parking, that has really become a problem in a lot of different areas.
Well, parking,
so what you're doing there, that's great.
Parking is a tremendous, there's a city ordinance that you have so much of an attendance in a building, and most of our arenas will be around 1,900 to 2,000. Well, for 2,000, you have to have X number of parking spaces outside. That's a city ordinance. And at Edison, for instance, when we built that facility, we had to make new parking areas that weren't currently parking areas, had been campus areas because of the EPAC being built and having literally two major gymnasiums on that campus, the former Sellers Field House and now the EPAC, which is where they play most of their contests. So parking is an issue, but I think we've got it solved at McLean.
And that's certainly going to create just a lot of pride in North Tulsa for the kids that maybe some have transferred out. They're going to want to stay.
Well, we're hoping it's the old build it and they will come. Yeah. Because I think it'll be very visible and it's going to be a really, really nice facility.
You know, it's something, John Klein had an article in the paper, and anytime we talk about Tulsa Public Schools, we're always so proud when something comes out, but about your alma mater there, Will Rogers High School, and what it is today and what it has always been.
John did a great job, I think, in capturing Will Rogers High School, and it's interesting when Nikki Dennis, the principal, was quoted in this article. She said a lot of the same things I said in 1962 when I walked into that building for the first time, and it was 24 years old at that time. I happened to be in the 25th graduating class from Will Rogers that next year. But what a tremendous asset it is to the city to have a facility that's that way. And literally, it hasn't changed any. I'm in all of our schools throughout the week, every week, and it is pretty nostalgic to walk back into a place where you spent the last 2 years of your secondary education. But they have done such a great job of maintaining that building and keeping that Art Deco approach to the way that building was constructed. It's really, really an outstanding facility. And what's really exciting about that is we're getting ready to make a tremendous addition to that facility. We're starting to plan before long the stadium. And the Rogers Stadium will be played will be where the practice field was for years and years and years. And of course, then it was renovated when we made the floodplain area in that area, and we dug it down below. I told somebody the other day that I used to, was a kicker when I was at Rogers, and our field was level with the field. I would try to kick the field goals out there, but hit in front of cars when they'd go by on fifth place. But it's going to be a great facility, and again, parking will be an issue there.
We need to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about pregame protocol that's going on now throughout the United States and as far as athletics is concerned.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Stay with us, more with Gil Cloud right after this.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics with the Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, Gil Cloud. And Gil, we were talking about McLean, and now let's move to something else. The pregame protocol at Tulsa Public Schools. This is a problem throughout athletics at every level, isn't it?
You know, it has been. It's become a major issue that a lot of entities from Little League all the way to the National Football League, and I'm sure it will carry into the winter sports and the NBA and intercollegiate basketball and high school basketball and everything. 2 years ago, we reworked our protocol, pregame protocol, so that when people come to our stadiums to play us, talking about the opposing teams, that they know what our protocol is. You know, when's the field going to be cleared for your warm-up? How long do you have for your warm-up? What's going to happen between the end of your warm-up and the coin flip, and what time will the game start? All those things go into, a lot of people, they show up to the game and think, well, we just tee it up and we just go play. We start the clock running at 60 minutes before the kickoff. And that's mandatory to be on our clock so that the teams on the field know how long they have until kickoff. And the referee sometimes will come in and say, hey, I've got 59 minutes, and so we'll adjust the clock to the referee because the referee's in charge. And whatever that clock says is what it is. And so from that period all the way through the kickoff, there are timed spaces. And the first time is at 6:45 for a 7 o'clock kickoff. At 6:45, the field is clear. Mm-hmm. That way we can have the pregame and have any bands that want to march pregame rather than halftime go ahead and march at that time. That gives them about 12 minutes or so to be able to perform, because we've got to have the coin flip. You know, that takes about a minute and a half.
That's right.
And we have to have the national anthem, which is about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And so all that has to fit in there. What our protocol is the field's cleared at 45, and at 50, we play the national anthem. And at 55, the teams come back out for the coin flip, and we do the coin flip at 55, and that takes us to about 57. And then in 3 minutes, we're ready to play, we're ready to kick off. That has been the way we've done it for the past 2 years, and in doing it this year the same way. And people have asked, you know, about the kneeling situation and the protest situation and so on. And so basically our football teams haven't been involved in that because they're preparing for the game. They're in the dressing room getting ready to go play the game. And we've had some other groups, you know, that have been in the grandstands that have had that type of protest. Our philosophy all along has been is that if that's what they want to do, that's fine with me. It has nothing to do with playing the football game. You know, we're there tonight, every night that we open the stadium to entertain people. That people pay to get in. They pay to see our kids play. And we hope that they're entertained and they have a good time while they're there. But, you know, we've addressed, I think, those issues with our principals and our athletics directors. And thus far, it's been pretty clean as far as we know.
How many other schools do that our teams play? Do other schools?
Most of them do it that way. You know, when I was coaching, that was one of the things that I was really adamant about. Mm-hmm. You know, is that I wanted to have the last shot at our team before we started the game. I wanted to have one more time where we came together as a group in the dressing room, made any final preparations, make sure everybody was well through warm-up, because sometimes, you know, mm-hmm. a guy pulls a muscle or something, you have to make a change. And one of the things that we did do, we haven't done here, but what we used to do is a pre-flip, where we already flipped the coin at 20 minutes till. That way, when we went into the dressing room, we could make our plans, kickoff team, kickoff receiving team, what the first offensive play was going to be, all those kind of things. That just kind of prepared us for that, and that's something that we normally did when I was in college coaching. We knew the flip before we went out to flip. When they went out to flip, it was the dummy flip. Everybody knew we were going to receive or defend or whatever. So I think there's a lot of preparation that goes on in there. And we do want to have the field clear, for visiting bands. There were years when we had a rule in the conferences that I've been in. Frontier Conference was one of them when I was at Union, was the visiting band always performed pregame and the home band performed at halftime. That way you didn't have a battle of the bands at halftime and run over the halftime, because the rule says 15 minutes, and you can ask for an additional 5. So, but anyhow, that's kind of how we've adjusted, and I think we're moving forward with it, and our coaches seem positive, and our kids are too.
Well, one thing for sure, what is happening in the National Football League, I hope that don't come on down all the way, but I wish we had time to get your opinion on that, but it is something that is catching the attention, isn't it?
There's no question, and I think that our youngsters have to make decisions what's best for them, and hopefully through their education they'll be able to figure out what is the best way for them to protest and have a voice.
Look forward to 2 weeks and have you back again.
We'll be back.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Thanks for being with us today on Inside Tulsa Athletics. And again, as we ask you every week, get out and support high school athletics of the Tulsa Public Schools. We have some great programs, great players, and some great teams. So get out and support them and be a part of it. And of course, we invite you to join us again for TV right here on Inside Tulsa Athletics.